I have a friend who works for Blizzard, and he loves it. I mean, that moved him from Evanston, Illinois to is it Santa Monica?
I think so.
Out in Santa Monica, California.
That's where all the game companies are in Santa Monica.
Well, Midway, I applied for Midway here.
Oh, right over here? A bunch of the people that I work for are from out of the country. They live in Germany. Well, they're from Germany and they came over here to work.
Yeah.
And they were getting like their cable equipment through RCN, and the RCN building, their headquarters, is right next door to NetherRealm Studios.
Oh, cool.
So because I'm the only one that lives in the city, they were like, well, can you please take this stuff back? They just went back to Germany. Can you bring their cable equipment back? And I drove in that little plaza, and I was just like, holy crap!
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat was made in there! And then there was someone whose car, their license plate said Melina.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is amazing! Can I walk in there and get a tour?
Yeah. Yeah, I applied there not knowing what to do. Mm-hmm. I just, for a job, I just said whatever. Because I was like, I just want you guys to allow me to come hang out with you every day.
A friend of mine used to know Ed Boon and John Tobias back in the day, my friend Gary.
Yeah.
He was in martial arts, and he ended up kind of like being in the same circles as the people that were in the game for the original Mortal Kombat back in the day. And he ended up like hanging out with John Tobias and Ed Boon all the time, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, you want to play the new Mortal Kombat 2? It's there's a secret place that they're testing it in the city. It was called this place called Diversions. It was like right past Niles. It was like barely in the city. Yeah. And at that point in time, Baraka was in the game as a space cowboy.
Oh, that would be cool to see.
So I remember going like, "What?" Okay, and there was a glitch. There was a glitch in the first version of it where if you were playing it was like the third version when they actually put Baraka in the game. And if you were playing as him and you did a babality on your opponent, you could actually walk up to them and still move around after you. Normally, like you would do the babality and your character would just stand there.
Right.
But there was a glitch where you would do the babality and you could still move Baraka around and do moves. So someone would do the babality, walk up to him, do that scissor thing, and chop the baby up to pieces. I remember everyone standing there going like, "Whoa, no,
whoa,
no!"
Whoa.
But they took that out pretty quick once they realized that people figured it out.
Yeah. Too far. That's funny.
Yeah, he knew all of them. Through him, I have that Mortal Kombat 2 that's been signed by a couple of the guys that played in the game. I have the guy that played Johnny Cage and the guy that played Shang Tsung. And I met them through him.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great one. Especially the first, once you figured out the sweep kick, you got someone on their back, like you could just... And but that's when you had to allow that, when you're playing against your friend, that like if something like that were to happen, they could like shove your face off and maybe throw you off so they could get up. Like you had to kind of bring rules in like that. Like racing games, sometimes you could bump, See,
my thing was all my friends would know that I hated when people would throw me in the game, like especially Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
And my friend would be like, "Oh, guess what? You're winning. Throw." Like, you cheap bastard. But yeah, those are. I remember those. Oh god, I miss those days.
Yeah. Then you had like games like Tekken that came out that.
I got shit for that game.
Yeah, you would play it for hours and think you're so good, and then you'd meet someone that could just take you out in one combo. And you're just like, "Can I play?" You're just your guy's bouncing around the air. You're like, "Can I play? Like, are you gonna let me?" Like the reggae Eddie.
Oh, the guy that did Capoeira?
Capoeira. Yeah.
That was always my favorite character.
Yeah, like you get someone who really knew what they were doing, they could clean house with you.
There was a GameStop that I'd gone to, and I played the first Tekken, and I didn't like it. I don't know why, I just didn't like it. And then when Part 2 came out around the same time as the first Dead or Alive came out for PlayStation 1, and I went to this GameStop, and I was like, I don't even know if it was a GameStop back, it might have still been a Funko Land. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy a copy of Dead or Alive. And the guy's like, are you sure? Tekken 2 just came out. I was like, no, I really didn't like the first Tekken. I'll stick with Dead or Alive. He goes, it's better than this crap! And I was like, you want my money or not? Like, just sell me the damn game. And I was like, really? You're going to stand here and yell at me about my taste in games? I'm like, eat a dick. Eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah. You're being a little too passionate about it. You're losing out on money.
And then I ended up playing Tekken 2 and going like, this one's actually a hell of a lot better than the first one. Yeah. I ended up picking that one up too.
Yeah, you stop from it, and the guy starts yelling, like, wait, am I in a comic book shop? Like, why are you yelling at me after you could do that in a comic book store.
It's like, you just watched Clerks, didn't you?
Yeah. You're not supposed to be here today, are you?
Yeah. I'm going to go in the back by the coolers, I'm going to start taking the eggs out of the cartons and smashing them against the windows.